So just very basically, I am a regular person.
Sure.
I see
Same.
that, you know, rising fascism, I see that established Democrats are just so okay with the status quo and have no vision and are afraid of progressive ideas. Everyone in Congress is old. I want to run.
Yeah.
Who do I call?
Welcome to Sarah Interviews. Read Showalter, candidate for Chicago's 7th Congressional District.
What do I do?
Yeah, so one, you're right. Everything is broken. As it has gotten broken, the people who are supposed to be our leadership, especially on the Democratic side, are just like more and more comfortable with the status quo.
How can it be?
Frankly, like, look at Congress, look at the people who are in charge. They're millionaires. They are very powerful people, and so like they don't feel what it means to pay rent or go to the grocery store. I don't actually know how many Congress people go to the grocery store and buy their own food.
Yeah, how many people have just seen their congressperson at the local grocery market?
Right.
Probably like none.
Right. And so there's a group of people who have like decided we're the ones who do politics and make the decisions, and they anoint their successors and they do endorsements, and because a lot of people tune out, they're able to sort of run the field and run the process and determine who is going to win it. So, but if you want to get in, it's like the actual process isn't as hard as you think.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what, like a form? And I like...
Yeah, it's a form. You fill out a form to say, I'm a candidate for this district. It was go get signatures from your friends and neighbors and the people in the area saying, hey, I wouldn't mind you being on the ballot.
Wow, how many would you need?
So
I'll remember, upside down ice cream cone.
Upside down ice cream cone, yes.
Use your sponge to help you with the right hand.
You're testing my multitasking and my memory.
Told you.
In this district, we needed 1,167 signatures, which...
1,161, oh, okay. That's kind of...
not as many as you'd think.
That's kind of doable.
It's totally doable. You've got like a couple months to collect it. You show up at a farmer's market, you knock your neighbor's doors, and you say, hey, I'm not asking for anything, I'm not trying to sign you up for anything, I'm not selling anything, but I'm running as a progressive and I would love to be on the ballot if you care about that.
Wow, so there's actually not that many barriers between being a regular person and getting on the ballot, it sounds like.
That's right. The barriers start after that. That's right. This is a seat where there are 750 some odd thousand people in this district. Most people don't pay attention to politics, and for good reason. You know, politics hasn't delivered for them. It doesn't really work for most people, but we got to get maybe 10% of that to actually show up. On March, when you decide who is going to win this election, it is going to be probably 70, 80, 90,000 people total who vote for this.
Wow, so the people who say my vote doesn't matter, your vote is a actually massive percentage of
this.
What determines it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one further, like this, because our politics is broken, this is a plurality win. There's no runoff, so the person who gets the highest total number of votes will win this.
Wow, so even if it's like 1/8.
That's right.
If it's divided and it's the most.
That's right.
Wow.
We are looking at, right now, there are, I think, 12 or 13 candidates who are going to be on the ballot, which means if everyone gets the same percentage, you're talking the person who wins gets 9, 10%, which means a few thousand votes, which means like you and your neighbors actually are probably going to determine who wins the election.
Wow, that should actually make people feel really empowered, but I think the narrative is that voting doesn't work or voting doesn't do anything, or like, what's with that disconnect, do you think?
Yeah, I think the disconnect, frankly, is because even when you vote, things don't change.
Right.
So much better. In a lot of cases, like the people who end up making it to the ballot, or the people you have heard of, are the people who have had the money to make sure you've heard of them. Not necessarily the person who best represents your values or has been doing sort of the real work or organizing that you want to see in the world. I'll give you an example. One of the common bits of wisdom in these types of races is what makes a candidate viable. And they say what makes a candidate viable is, have you raised $500,000? Which is insane. I mean, you could like buy a whole ass home for that.
$500,000.
Yeah, in a primary for like a 6-month race.
Okay, I'm gonna ask something kind of stupid.
No such thing.
A little uninformed, perhaps. So, why do you need so much money to run?
Yeah, in the abstract, you don't need that much money to run, and you shouldn't, frankly. The problem is, other people, rich people, like the political machine, does have that much money. And so what they do is, they spend that money on mail and canvassers and TV ads and digital ads, and so
is it all
everywhere.
media?
It's a lot of media.
Wow.
It's a lot of media. And then there are some things that are like, that actually make sense. We've got a campaign office, that costs money. You gotta just like pay for the rent of the campaign office.
Right.
I have a campaign manager who helps me like go to things and find things. Because if I'm doing an event, then somebody else who can like help find other things for us to do.
And of course your campaign manager needs to pay for the inflated groceries and for rent.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and we want to make sure that everybody who's on the team is like paid a fair wage.
Yeah.
But that's not really the bulk of it. Most of it is the very annoying like, I'm running for blah blah blah. You get a mailer, you get a door hanger, you get a thing, you get you see the TV ads.
So and so wants to take away your this or that, and I'm gonna
Too
stop
radical
them.
for Chicago.
Yeah. Oh my God. But who's deciding who's viable? Because who said Biden was viable?
Yeah.
The second time.
The decision for viable is like exactly what you're saying earlier. It's the old guard, right?
Yeah.
It is the people who run the political machinery, and they really only have one way of judging whether someone's viable. It's like, does it look like what I did?
Wow.
And what I did was raise this much money and bought a bunch of TV ads, and that's how I determine whether you have a chance, because it looks like what I did.
All right, go ahead and open that real quick.
Yeah.
Thumb in the middle, we're pressing down.
Thumb in the middle, we're pressing down. I'm gonna get a little bit of water.
I think people just see it, politics is bad, politicians are bad, no one who deserves it ever wins, it's always the worst people who are willing to do the worst things who win, and everything's fucked. But it's nice to hear from someone who's like, let's at least try to change it. And what type of changes do you feel like need to happen?
It's a good question. And I'll say that like that wider concern, politics is broken, everything's fucked. Like the reason why authoritarians get in power is because they do a bunch of bad stuff and make regular people think, God, everything's so broken, when we remain the majority in this country. People who are regular people who want good things to happen are by far the majority. But if you can sort of shock and awe people into feeling like everything's hopeless, then they give up their power.
Oh, and they stay home.
They don't get engaged. They don't plug in. One of the things I was saying, like, this is a district of 750,000 people. The primary voters, less than 10% of that.
That's crazy.
So 1 in 10 people in this district are going to determine who represents them. And
wow. And as the representative, what's within your power to do?
Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do, and then there's also many things that are sort of broken. We, as a representative, for example, control. Oh,
Getting a little wide.
I'm getting a little wide.
You can start lifting the walls.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot we can do. One, to provide oversight, but two, we're the votes for everything that we spend money on.
Oh.
So in Congress, you are the first draft of the budget. Like, if you've ever been mad, like I've been mad that we spend half of our money on bombs detonating in the Middle East.
Oh my God! I'm happy to pay my taxes if I know it's supporting infrastructure. But when I know that like I'm paying taxes and it's like blowing people up in the Middle East, I'm like, oh, it grinds my gears.
Yes, yeah, and more than that, like we have real deep problems here. Housing is a crisis. Everything's super expensive. I don't know if you've noticed, like trying to get insurance costs $1.5 billion. We don't have single payer healthcare. That's crazy. Why don't we have single payer healthcare?
Yep.
Every other major developed country has single payer healthcare, and the fact that we don't is really because the American system has prioritized a way to make money over a way to deliver care. The way that we sort of get through this, obviously, I think is like Medicare for all, a real process that guarantees that healthcare is a right. It doesn't flow with your employer. It doesn't flow with who can make the most money. The whole thing is broken right now because the people who we vote into office have a lot of money to slosh around. And when I went back to viability, for example, I said the candidate who gets the endorsements, the candidate who can spend a bit of money for a mailer or an advertisement so that you know who is running, they're the ones who are backed by, for example, big pharma or a big health insurer, the people who make a lot of money from the status quo as it is. The very rich have a way of sort of baking themselves into the system. I'll give you an example. Like, I have had outreach from some people who are like, hey, I saw that you're a young person in the race. Maybe you want to take crypto money. Crypto's cool and young and hip. And the implied thing behind that is always,
and then you'll owe
you take some crypto money, and then when you're in Congress, you make sure that crypto gets some favorable treatments.
Jesus.
And that is, it's really easy to see how that stacks. You get 1 or 2 or 3 things like that, and suddenly, thank you.
I think this little bowl might be done.
I think it might be done too. I like our little bowl.
I like our little bowl too.
It's very easy to stack 1 or 2 or 3 of those and say, okay, well, I took some crypto money, and I took a little bit of money from the hospitals, and I took a little bit of money from a big real estate investor. And suddenly, you go to Congress, and you can't take on big financial interests because you owe crypto. And you can't lower the cost of housing because you owe a real estate developer. And you can't advocate for Medicare for all because one of the lead donors and the people that helped get you to Congress were, a local hospital that says we don't want this. We don't want this policy. And suddenly, a person who had all the right intentions was, flooding. Is
corrupted
sort of
almost.
Stuck. Yeah. And they say, I'm here, I'm still a good person, and I'm going to make sure I advocate on other issues that matter. Like, we're going to make sure we fight against, the abuses of immigrants, and we fight for women's rights, and those are great, and we should do all of that. But the rot in the system stays. You know? You don't ever take on the corporate power because the corporate power is the thing that gets you in there. Oh, thank God. You're better at it than me.
Yeah, I could see you about to squish it.
No, I probably would have only squished it a little bit. Look at that, we got a little bowl. Chicago only has a few districts that represent it. And it's kind of weird, I look around and I see a bunch of other states and a bunch of cities that have exciting progressive voices. And those exciting progressive voices almost always are on the coasts.
Yeah, where's our Zohran?
Yeah, where's our Zohran? Where's our AOC? Where are people who are the new version, the young version of politics that actually represents our values?
Yeah.
And this is a seat that before this opening was represented by the same man for 29 years.
Wait, and what's his name again?
Danny Davis.
Oh my God, I'm in his district.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
What does he stand for? Who is he? What does he do?
Correct.
I'm an uninformed voter. Oh my God.
Yeah, and there's no reason why Chicago, the core of Chicago, should, one, not know your member.
Yeah.
Chicago's a big, awesome
We're kind of
metropolis.
important.
Yeah.
We're kind of important.
This city, big shoulders. We've got some real energy here. Where's our representation that matches that energy? That says we want a vision that's worth believing in. We want to take on corporate power. We want to make sure that we're actually building things. We're building new infrastructure and housing and green energy and things that are a future that's exciting. Chicago should have someone doing that, and the person who wins this, which I said before, on probably 15,000 votes.
Jesus.
20,000 votes.
That's actually kind of scary.
It's real scary. That person is going to be in this seat, and especially if they don't support term limits. They're going to be in this seat maybe for 30 years.
Right, that's how long the last one was in there.
That's how long the last one was in there. And before that, the person who was in there until they basically died.
Yeah, Congress is a retirement home.
That's right. And so, it's part of the reason, like, I support term limits.
Oh, yeah.
That is, like, one of the core things. But not all of my opponents do. Not all of the people in the race support term limits. And having people in there who are going to represent your values and also, like, do this job as not a retirement plan, but as public service matters. And now is maybe the only chance to do it, because once you're in there, it's really hard to challenge an incumbent. They've got a bunch of money. The entire party supports them. There is not the same energy. They can campaign with all of their staff that's already paid for by Congress. Like, there's a generational chance here.
Wow. Really, a once in a generation chance.
Like probably for the next 30 years.
Oh my God, this is a tipping point.
Yes. And so what we can do from there is a lot of stuff. Obviously, a member of Congress can and should, like, oppose what the Trump administration is doing.
Yeah.
Your member of Congress has an unimpeded legal rights to walk into any ICE facility and demand accountability.
Yeah.
Where are our members of Congress who are in there live streaming what's happening and providing accountability? Your congressperson fights for that.
Yeah.
And then can take the next step of saying, like, hey, we're not just opposing the Trump administration, which we've got to do.
Yeah, not just oppose Trump, but provide a new vision for the Democratic Party that's not just keep everything same old, same old.
That's right, yes. And I think it's not just a nice to have at this point. Like, the Democratic Party doesn't survive, and frankly shouldn't survive unless we have that.
I mean, they're so unpopular. Even like my mom, who's a boomer, is very, very upset and just so disappointed and disillusioned.
Even when we're doing things that are sort of lefty populist, the only thing that we can imagine for that is, well, how do we preserve the institutions that already do that? How do we stop them from being cut? Like, how do we go back to how this was 6 years ago when it was a little bit better, but not...
Right, but it wasn't better for everybody.
It was not nearly enough.
Yeah.
I think of this all the time. You go back to how it was under Obama, how it was under Biden, like, that's not good enough.
No, I agree. I completely agree. There were so many problems that went unsolved.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just, I have all these problems, I want to know what the reason is.
Yes.
And then they say it's immigrants. They say it's pronouns. I really feel like in this alternate timeline where the Democratic Party stood for something, the Republican Party wouldn't have this, like, demagogue rise and, like, all of the, fascist rhetoric, like, because they're addressing real problems. It's just that the way that they see solutions is really fucked up.
Yeah, I think that's right. I feel like there's a scarcity that people feel because we haven't delivered for them.
Yeah.
We have not done a good job. Like, everything is too expensive.
Yep.
Housing's too expensive, healthcare's too expensive, the grocery store costs, like, I don't know, my groceries are like twice as expensive as they were 4, 5, 6 years ago.
It's insane. Like, I'm dropping no less than $150 every time, and I'm like, just for groceries, like, just to just to cook with, you know, and it's crazy.
And I think what happens there is, especially for people who aren't super tuned in, it's really easy when you feel like things in your life are scarce to be tricked into a worldview that says the reason why things in my life are scarce are because of the people that don't look like me, because of the people that don't speak the same language as me, they don't love the same way that I do.
Yeah.
All of those people are different, and that's why I don't have what I need.
If everyone just agreed with me and was like me, then...
Yeah, then I wouldn't be getting screwed. Look, I don't agree with, frankly, anything that the Trump administration is doing.
Yep.
But the people that have been enthralled in that, I think, are, like, frankly, victims of psychological manipulation in more cases than not.
I agree.
Many of them are just regular people who want their life to go back to normal, who want to be able to afford something. They're the ones who are chanting "Drain the swamp" all the time.
Yeah.
Like, let's drain the swamp. They're chanting "Drain the swamp," and they elected a person who is the most corrupt person in, like, human history.
Yeah, like, he is the swamp.
Yeah. But, like, the impulse is there, and I think it's why people vote for Bernie and then Trump.
Yes, I completely agree. I've got a really specific question that might be hard.
Yeah.
So I've been, I don't want to disclose where I live, but I live relatively near the Broadview ICE Detention Center.
Yeah.
And, you know, I got so sick of just scrolling every morning. And then I'm just watching, there's something I can do. And finally I was like, this place is so close to my house. Like, I'm just gonna go. Like, I'm just gonna go. And
that's great, and thank you.
You're welcome. But even just like the ability to be there and like see these, you know, cars without license plates coming in and out of this facility with, you know, these people with these shitty names as they walk out, like, you know,
There's
and being like
glee to it almost. It's really
so
gross.
much glee, and they see our disgust and it amuses them.
Yeah.
And just being able to see that and be like, you know, fuck you, I hate you. If you were a good person, you wouldn't be doing this. Like, you know, just to get that off my chest makes me personally feel a lot better.
Yeah.
So I've been enjoying that for me. But, you know, it's been interesting seeing the protests there shift over time from when it was just ICE, and it was ICE, you know, gassing, shooting, all of that. But then as the Broadview police and then especially the state troopers came in, it's almost entirely nullified the ability of protesters to, you know, I don't want to say impede ICE, right? But over time it started to feel more like summer camp happening 2 blocks away from the facility rather than a concerted effort to make their stay in Broadview as difficult and untenable as possible. So why are the state troopers there? What can we do to remove these state troopers? How can we as citizens say we don't want an ICE detention center here or anywhere? You know, what can we be doing about that?
Yeah, there's a few answers to that, and some of this, very sadly, just rests on the fact that, like, we don't have power in Congress right now. But the state troopers are there, for example, on J.B. Pritzker's orders.
That's what I'm saying. Why? If he's saying that he doesn't support it and that he's not going to let Trump bully Chicago, like, why send the state troopers?
Yeah, the stated reason that he said that we heard was that he was doing it to sort of protect protesters from ICE abuses.
Listen, I've been there. I've confronted them directly. They are not there to protect us. They do not fuck with us at all.
Yeah, the guy who pushed me up against a truck and the guy who pushed my campaign manager down and made her arm bleed was a state trooper. So
that's what I'm. So who are they protecting here? They're just protecting ICE's ability to go out and kidnap people.
Correct.
So like.
And so some of that is like, that's your current elected official. I think Pritzker has gotten like some accolades for his response, and he says the right things a lot of times. But then there are state troopers who are clubbing protesters.
They have clubs. They literally have clubs, and they walk out into the crowd and agitate and escalate.
That's right. This is one of those places where until we have a majority in Congress, the solution to this is like organizing. It's people. We need to be on the ground, and it needs to be more than just like, frankly, it needs to be more than regular people. I'm so profoundly frustrated that our elected officials aren't there.
Yeah, they should be.
Yeah, you know, the member going out here, Danny Davis. Look, I get he's retiring, but what else do you have to do? Like, spend your time, put yourself on the line. Like, cops are a lot less likely to rough up a sitting member of Congress than they are to rough up somebody that they can easily say, oh, this is Antifa, this is some radical.
Yeah.
And so we have few tools here, but the biggest tool we have is privilege, right? How can we use that privilege to defend the people who don't have it?
Yeah, to leverage it.
Yeah, show up, provide accountability, and like do the organizing work. Do the organizing work that allows us, you know, to like provide accountability and to make it harder for the excuses that these like wannabe fascist thugs deploy against peaceful protesters. We need reform here. Like, part of the reason why ICE can racially profile people is because it's legal.
I know. Oh my God. Imagine.
Yeah, that's Congress's fault. Like, our Congress has failed to do that. It's crazy. We don't have a law right now. We can and should pass a law that says it is illegal for ICE agents to racially profile. If you want to arrest somebody, go get a warrant and justify that this isn't just you saying this person has. This is a brown person and I feel like they should get arrested. that should be illegal. And the fact that we don't have a law on the books against that is crazy to me.
So nuts. Okay, as you're finishing up your last pot,
Yes.
what is the elevator pitch for why someone should vote for you over the other candidates?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Gotta ask you.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's really important about the moment we're living in is we have a bunch of crises happening all at once. And I frankly think those are related to each other. I don't think we get out of this unless we undo the like deep rot in the system that we were talking about. It's the fact that money buys power, the fact that you can't break out of the status quo without basically caving to some wealthy interest, and the fact that nobody can like experience the freedom of housing they can afford and healthcare that allows them to like leave a job that they hate. It is one of the roots for everything that we, it's one of the roots for all of the problems we're feeling. I think we should have a young generation of leadership who's like fighting for those issues, that is fighting to get corporate power out of politics, that is fighting to make sure that government does stuff for people.
Yeah.
You know, I look around all the time and I feel like we have gotten comfortable with the idea that government just subsidizes stuff.
Yeah, that's all they do.
That's all they do. And it doesn't actually do things. But like, food's expensive. What if we did public grocery?
Yeah.
Housing is really expensive. What if we made our housing? What if like the federal government built housing and didn't just have it be like a rental for public housing assistance, but like buy land, build it, sell it at below market cost so people can afford housing.
Yeah.
Same thing, like Medicare for All is such a no-brainer to me. And beyond that, like we could probably be manufacturing critical drugs. Chemo shouldn't cost as much as it does. We can make that ourselves. Insulin, inhalers, like the basic stuff that we all rely on. Government can do that. We just need people who are there saying, what is the thing that allows us to solve problems and not the thing that allows big corporations to make money? And I think the way out of the crisis that we're seeing of like people turning against their neighbors, people turning against the LGBTQ community, people turning against immigrants is just the fact that like there is so much scarcity everywhere, and we have an obligation to like build something better than that.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's tragic and beautiful, and I'm glad that, I mean, I could never do it, so I'm glad that, you know, someone like you is out there, you know, literally dedicating their life to public service and to addressing these issues. And you're doing really good.
I got a little cup.
You got a cute little cup there. You did really, really good.
What shape should I make this cup into, Sarah?
Ooh.
Also, I have a weird dent, and I don't know why. Is that new?
Yeah, so when you were pulling your first pull, I was watching you were squeezing really, really tight, and so it tore a little bit. But you somehow came back from that and compressed it shut. So for now, I would ignore it.
Great.
And whatever shape you want, if you want to flare it out or bring it in, is totally up to you. And I'll help you get it off the wheel.
Great,
so
okay.
honestly, go for it. Just do whatever the place speaks to you.
We're just gonna go for it,
be.
and I'm going to. I was probably squeezing when I was like, the system's broken, and I was like, I hate that.
No,
I'm
literally,
so mad at that.
it was that moment where you were like, everything sucks, and I saw your hands just.
It is the one problem of doing pottery, which I feel like is very peaceful, and then talking about the things that I see in the world that make me so mad about how it's broken. When you have made a long-time dream of learning a little bit how to do some pottery come true, and I appreciate you so much sharing your platform and your skills here, because I would not have, frankly, this would have been like 10 years down the road, and I would have been sad to have missed out on.
Yep, I mean, a central experience would be lacking. So now we can check that off the list, and you know you can come back to it once you have some more time.
All right, we got a little bowl.
Stunning.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. I know this was a little different than my usual content. A lot of people keep commenting that they just want longer videos of me talking to people. So here you go. It's a fun interview with somebody with some information and perspectives that are not always easy to find or to, you know, experience in a sort of down-to-earth human type of way.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing this. I said this probably earlier here, but like, I'm a regular guy. I feel like there is some value in having regular people running for this and trying to fight for the people who have like the normal experience in America. I appreciate you, one, sharing all of this time with me, sharing your skill with me. And also, if you're interested in getting involved in politics, like obviously our campaign is doing stuff, but also you should get involved, like run for a local office. Check out the people who are running, hold them to account. Are there things that you really care about? Like this stuff is so much smaller than you think it is, and it can look sort of far away and on the shelf, and like the people who do that are on fancy pedestals, but they're regular people, part of a system that's been designed to be inaccessible. And if you show up and demand accountability from them, they, in many cases, aren't used to it. They're used to talking to a very small circle, and your voice and you showing up really matters and makes a difference.
The election is?
March 17th of next year. So if you're in Illinois 7th Congressional District, and
that district is?
It's Chicago. So we've got a gerrymandered map, but that district is downtown, the Loop, all the way out to basically Westchester. And then we've got Chinatown, Bridgeport's, back of the yards, bit of Englewood.
Wow, okay, well, those are all places that I frequent a lot. I live in that district, so I'll definitely be showing up to vote.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for spending the time with us.
Of course, yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, you too.
Good luck.